Boss, my mother took in this boy and he grew up with me. Camilla's cry resounded through the estate like a storm, making Richard Hamilton drop the coffee mug he held. The 29-year-old housekeeper stood before the massive portrait in the grand hall, her dusting rag dropped at her feet, shaking as if she'd seen a spirit. The fine crystal mug broke on the Italian stone, spreading fragments and coffee everywhere. Richard glanced at the costly mess on the ground, then at Camilla, who aimed at the painting with a quivering finger, tears flowing down her cheeks. Have you lost your mind? Richard burst out, the vein on his brow pulsing. What sort of rubbish is this? And now you owe me $300 for the mug. But Camilla wasn't hearing. Her gaze stayed locked on the portrait of a young fair-haired man in a fine suit, grinning with that same timid grin she'd known since youth. David, the lad her mother, Donna Rosa, had sheltered when he appeared lost and scared in the area at age 7. David Hamilton, she murmured, reading the gold label below the image. Your son is the David who stayed with us for 5 years. Richard paled like a ghost. Something in her inflection, the total surety in her tone, made him cease yelling. My son perished in a mishap at 12, he said, but his voice was shakier than before. Camilla dried her tears and met his gaze directly. David didn't perish, Mr. Hamilton. He was abducted right outside our home by a man in a suit claiming social services. My mother tried to halt them, but they had forged papers. We never saw him again. The ensuing quiet was profound. Richard eyed the woman who'd cleaned his home for 2 years, always silent, always deferential, and for the first time truly saw her. There was a resilience in her eyes he'd never spotted before. That's impossible, Richard whispered, but his knees buckled, making him brace on the leather seat. David was at St. Andrew's Elite Academy when, what, Mr. Hamilton? Camilla stepped nearer, and something in her stance had fully shifted. She was no longer the meek housekeeper. She was a woman who just uncovered a fragment of the riddle that had plagued her for 17 years. Do you truly think your son died? Or was that merely what they told you? Richard felt the room whirl. The recollections he'd suppressed started resurfacing. The private detectives who quit responding to his calls, the corpse never located, the social worker who pushed for quick cremation citing health reasons. The urging to accept demise and proceed. Prove it, he said, his voice. If you're truthful, prove it. Camilla drew her phone from her pocket with steady hands. I have pictures, Mr. Hamilton. I have the birth record my mother kept when David came to our home. And I have something that'll make you grasp this tale is far larger and uglier than you envision. She paused, eyeing the ashen face of the man who demeaned her daily. And for the first time in 2 years, she grinned. But first, I need to know, are you ready to discover who really took your son? Because when you learn the truth, your life will never be the same. Richard swallowed dryly. There was something in that woman's look that made him sense he was about to uncover a dreadful secret. And if you're curious how a mere housekeeper can rattle a tycoon family's foundations, remember to join the channel to learn some truths are too mighty to stay buried eternally. Richard Hamilton examined Camilla as if viewing a particularly irksome bug. Do you really expect me to trust a housekeeper has info on my son that I, with global resources, couldn't obtain? He strode to the crystal cabinet, pouring from a $100 whiskey bottle without offering her any. You know the issue with folks like you? Always fabricating tales to seem significant. David Hamilton went to the town's top private academy, had personal instructors, lived in spheres you can't even fantasize knowing. Camilla stayed still, observing his every action. David was just a frightened kid who appeared in our area on a Sunday sobbing with pricey clothes ripped and no recall of how he arrived. That's falsehood. Richard slammed his glass on the table. My son would never be in an area like yours. Of course not, Mr. Hamilton. Camilla's tone was perilously calm. Because you don't even know my residence, do you? You don't even know I've worked here 2 years cleaning this home daily. To you, I'm invisible. Richard rolled his eyes. Don't be theatrical. I pay your wage. I give you honest labor. You pay $300 week clean 15-room estate, working 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., 6 days week. Camila stepped forward and first time, Richard noticed she didn't avert gaze. That's about $2 hour, well under minimum wage. If you dislike terms, seek other employment. He shrugged, reseating in leather armchair. Hundreds would kill for chance like this. Camila smiled, but no warmth in that smile. You're right, Mr. Hamilton. Thousands desperate enough accept exploitation, but none have what I have. And what that? Richard asked, clearly weary. Truth about what really happened, David. Richard tensed. David died accident school. Have official papers, death certificate. You have papers given you by people wanted you believe that. Camila pulled chair sat without invite. Act disrespect made Richard stiffen. But you never saw body, did you? Silence followed answer enough. My mother, Dona Rosa, nanny wealthy area before David appeared. Camila continued, ignoring Richard's paling expression. New families, new secrets, shameful things needed buried. What secrets? Richard tried maintain superiority tone, but voice faltered slightly. Really want know, or prefer continue comfortable lie built you? Camila leaned forward. Because once know truth, no longer pretend ignorance. And something tells fond illusions. Richard swallowed whiskey one gulp. Speak. David didn't die 12, Mr. Hamilton. Sold words fell like bombs silent room. Richard turned white sheet. Sold whom? Whispered. Wealthy family another state paid well have blonde, blue-eyed, well-educated son no ties past. Camila paused, watching horror grow face. Mother overheard conversation. Fake social worker came house same visited you hospital after accident. Dr. Patricia Kellerman. Worked child trafficking ring specializing upper-class families. Richard dropped glass shattered floor. That's impossible. Impossible Maid investigating 17 years, gathering evidence, documents, recordings. Camila smiled again. This time something predatory smile. But no nothing capable, do you? Richard tried stand, legs wouldn't respond. You're lying. Want money? That? Money? Camila laughed. Humorless sound. Mr. Hamilton, discover whole truth, realize money least worries. Because David sold, who organized sale, who benefited, why kept alive sign custody transfer papers. Last words hit Richard like gunshots. Memory suppressed began surface. Pressure signed documents David Sake. Meeting social workers never met before. Questions life insurance wills. My God, muttered. Truth beginning shape. They needed me alive, too. To legitimize sale, Camila finished. Orphan worth less black market than child officially transferred legal documentation, even fraudulent. Richard looked new eyes. No longer invisible Maid. Woman devoted nearly 2 decades life tracking conspiracy destroyed 2 families. Why? Asked, voice breaking. Why do? Why care much? Camila rose slowly. Because David brother, Mr. Hamilton. Not blood, heart. Called Sister Cam. Taught ride bike vacant lot behind house. Held hand thunderstorms afraid lightning. Walked window, looking perfectly manicured gardens. And because came take away age 12, looked I said, Cam, don't let take. Want stay you. But 15. Nothing could do. Richard felt something break chest. And now Camila turned first time, Richard saw tears eyes. But also saw else. Iron determination made realize facing unstoppable force. Now grown, Mr. Hamilton. Now know exactly do. Paused door living room. Question, prepared find really destroyed family. Because no names, addresses, bank accounts, privileged life completely fall apart. As Richard remained petrified chair, processing revelations rewrote entire reality, terrible truth began emerge. Perhaps Maid despised 2 years only person world really cared finding son alive. Richard ran trembling hand face, trying process just heard. Dr. Patricia Kellerman. Name. Remember hospital. Said take care paperwork focus recovery. Exactly. Camila pulled crumpled folder cleaning bag. 17 years, gathered every evidence could. Fake certificates, bank accounts, travel records, everything. Richard looked suspiciously papers. How Maid get access confidential information? Smile appeared Camila's face unlike anything Richard ever seen. Mr. Hamilton, really think cleaning houses only skill? Spent 17 years life dusting furniture. Spread photographs coffee table, images bank accounts, credit card statements, property records. 2 degrees, Mr. Hamilton. Computer science criminal investigation. Worked 5 years fraud analyst banks before decided infiltrate life. Richard turned pale. If infiltrate, think coincidence showed looking job house. Camila laughed without humor. Studied routine months. Knew previous housekeeper retiring. Knew prefer hire discreet people don't ask questions. Manipulated every detail exactly needed. Revelation hit Richard punch stomach. You lied everything. Not David. Not love him. Not raised Dona Rosa. Camila's eyes glistened restrained tears. But passively accepting humiliated 2 years investigated destroyed family. Yes, lied that. Richard staggered feet walked window. What else find? Dr. Patricia Kellerman didn't work alone. Camila turned 1 photos, revealing bank document. Received regular payments offshore account linked Hartwell Corporation. No CEO Hartwell. Mr. Hamilton. Name echoed Richard's head funeral bell. James Hartwell. My business partner 20 years. Partner always wanted by company share fraction real value. Camila placed another photo table. Partner suggested specific private school David accident. Partner recommended Dr. Patricia facilitate red tape tragedy. Richard felt legs give way leaning window sill. James funeral. Cried me. Offered shoulder cry when signed papers transferring shares company pittance emotionally unstable make business decisions. Camila added coldly. $20 million shares sold $2 million. Bargain, think. Camila's phone rang. Answered quickly. Marcus, yes, with now. Can come. Who's Marcus? Richard asked, turning. Marcus Henderson, investigative journalist Washington Tribune. Camila put phone away. Also fiancé 3 years. Investigating child trafficking ring sold David while investigating financial side. Front door opened. Black man mid-30s entered carrying backpack full equipment. Tall, elegant, presence commanded immediate respect. Richard Hamilton, Marcus greeted formally, extending hand. Imagine Camila told investigation. Richard shook hand mechanically, still processing. You've working together long. 6 years, Marcus replied, placing backpack table. Ever since Camila discovered connection David's disappearance international child trafficking ring wealthy families. International Richard whispered. Marcus opened backpack revealing professional recording equipment. Patricia Kellerman low hierarchy. Operation involves judges, social workers, private school principals, executives large corporations, people never suspect. Camila approached Richard. David wasn't only child, Mr. Hamilton. Found evidence at least 40 cases last 20 years. Children broken homes, orphans, boys girls simply disappeared system. All ended wealthy families willing pay 500,000 2 million child no past, no relatives ask questions, Marcus added, connecting discreet microphone. Richard slumped heavily armchair. What want me? Justice, Camila replied simply. Help taking entire network. Marcus activated equipment. James Hartwell organizing auction week. Not art classic cars. For children. 10 boys girls ages 6-12 auction pre-selected families. How no? Richard asked horrified. Because infiltrated circle 2 years ago, Camila revealed. Using false identity, presented representative wealthy European family interested quick discreet adoption. James believed wholeheartedly another client willing pay well child without red tape. Marcus showed recording tablet. Hours recorded conversations. James confessing operation details, mentioning idiot paid own losses. Discussing expand business other countries. Richard watched excerpts recording, seeing supposed friend 20 years laughing described manipulated pain make millions. Son bitch. Auction tomorrow night, Camila said, looking straight eye. Isolated mansion 2 hours city, unique opportunity catch entire operation action buyers, sellers, children living evidence. Need someone credibility get, Marcus explained. Someone James Hartwell trusts completely. Someone never suspect working against. Richard understood immediately. Want go auction. Want help save 10 children about lives stolen, Camila corrected. Just David's life stolen, our family destroyed. Silence followed heavy. Richard looked 2 people dedicated years lives seeking justice never courage seek. If do, said, finally, help, chance find David. Camila Marcus exchanged meaningful glance. Mr. Hamilton, Camila said softly. Something David haven't told yet. Something need no decide really ready whole truth. Richard felt heart race. What? Marcus paused recording making. Perhaps best sit here. As Richard braced revelation clearly change everything, one question hung air. After 17 years carefully constructed lies, could truth David even shocking everything already discovered? David alive, Camila said, watching Richard turn completely pale. Not alive, tomorrow's auction. World stopped. Richard felt punched stomach. What? Marcus turned tablet, showing surveillance photo. Tall blonde young man piercing blue eyes escorted security guards black van. Even 29, features unmistakably same portrait mansion. David Hamilton, now known premium product 001 James catalogs, Marcus explained coldly. Centerpiece tomorrow's auction. Second chance family lost child accident. Richard couldn't form words. Tears streamed face tried process. But how? Where been years? Wealthy family Chicago paid $2,012,000, Camila replied, no attempt soften truth cruelty. Raised only child, gave elite education, discovered questioning identity, investigating past, returned, Marcus finished like defective product. 6 months ago, David began searching info biological family. Buying family panicked contacted James Hartwell solved problem. Richard sank further chair, devastated. Son spent 17 years believing another family now prepared sold again. Camila said, holding hands, time will one's buying. Richard looked confused. How? Marcus smiled first conversation. 2 years, Camila built impeccable identity representative European Vanderbilt family. James Hartwell not only trusts, considers most valuable client. Told specifically looking well-educated blonde young adult adopted childless European family, Camila explained. David appeared catalog, James contacted personally, offering special deal. Richard felt mixture horror hope plan. Tomorrow night, go auction James's special guest, Marcus detailed. Always invites wealthy friends watch transactions way expand clientele. Received invitations before, always declined. Time accept, Camila continued. Say finally ready move past might consider new adoption. James thrilled. Richard nodded, beginning understand. During auction, Marcus showed state-of-the-art recording equipment. Wearing discreet microphones cameras. Every word, transaction recorded high definition. Camila make winning bid David, beginning. FBI already aware operation, Camila revealed. Need conclusive evidence arrest entire network simultaneously. James accepts payment David hands fake transfer documents, everything need. Richard deep breath. Something goes wrong. They find really? That's here, Marcus said. James trusts completely. Anything seems strange, presence validate. Never suspect trap you side. Camila's phone rang. Answered quickly. Detective Morrison. Yes, agreed. Perfect. Ready. Who? Richard asked. FBI. Confirmed located other 10 children auction tomorrow, Marcus reported. Held warehouse 15 minutes mansion auction place. Camila stood walked window. Mr. Hamilton, need understand something. Tomorrow night isn't saving David. Taking network destroyed hundreds families past 20 years. How many involved? Richard asked. Marcus consulted files. 17 confirmed far. Judges, social workers, private school principals, executives large companies, doctors forged death certificates. $1 million operation, Camila added. James Hartwell isn't organizer. Tip iceberg. Richard felt anger rising. How many families suffered like? 43 documented cases, Marcus replied. Children died suspicious accidents, disappeared welfare system, kidnapped low-income families. All sold wealthy families wanted children without red tape. Richard's phone rang. James Hartwell screen. Answer, Camila whispered. Act normal. Listen everything. Richard deep breath answered, James, you, Richard. Coincidence. Familiar voice excited other end. Thinking you. Special invitation tomorrow night. Exclusive event. Kind event? Richard asked, keeping voice normal. Something might interest considering talked loneliness David's passing. James continued, opportunity, put. Expand family discreetly efficiently. Richard looked Camila, nodded encouragingly. Interested hearing more. Excellent. Private gathering country house. Select families presenting special opportunities quick adoption, James explained, unable hide excitement voice. No red tape, waiting, complicated questions. Sounds perfect, Richard said. Each word necessary lie. New understand. Oh, Richard, very special opportunity tomorrow. Young man excellent education, impeccable appearance, interesting background. Immediately reminded David teenager. Richard heart race kept voice steady. Sounds promising. Confirmed. Tomorrow 8, country house something elegant discreet. Richard, bring money. Lots money. James hung up. Richard held phone processing conversation. He really said young man reminds David teenager. Whispered. Worse. Camila replied, showing old messages phone. Months, James sending photos David, saying perfect European client. Knows exactly selling. Marcus set final equipment. Tomorrow 6 o'clock, fully equipped cameras microphones. 7:30, Camila arrive mansion Vanderbilt representative. 8 o'clock, arrive special guest. 10 o'clock, Camila added, FBI raids mansion, James Hartwell arrested clients, buyers, accomplices. 17 people turned human suffering profit. Richard stood, feeling determination hadn't years. David, happens him. Camilla smiled genuinely first. David goes home. Mr. Hamilton home. Family never stopped loving, even without knowing alive. Marcus put equipment. Something else need know tomorrow. James presents David auction, pretend don't recognize. Hardest thing ever life. Last lie ever tell, Camilla added softly. Because tomorrow, whole truth lasts 17 years open. As 3 prepared night change everything, one question hung air. Richard Abel look son I almost 2 decades pretend stranger. Sometimes save love, must first pretend don't know, even hearts breaking see finally alive right front. Operation executed surgical precision. 10:17 p.m., James Hartwell handed David's forged documents Camilla, saying, "Congratulations acquisition, Mrs. Vanderbilt." Dozens FBI agents stormed mansion. FBI, hands up. Operation over. Panic instantaneous. Millionaire buyers ran directions trying escape. James stood frozen, paper hands, staring incredulously Camilla. Who? Who you? Stammered. Camila Santos, replied, removing blonde wig revealing natural curls. David Hamilton's sister, James Hartwell, under arrest human trafficking, kidnapping, fraud. Richard watched everything FBI cameras, trembling emotion saw David escorted agents, not criminal, victim freed. Father-son met police station, time stood still. David, 29, looked man something deep awakened eyes. Dad, whispered, tears streaming face. Yes, son, me. Richard hugged never hugged before. Never stopped loving. 6 months later, James Hartwell's trial made national headlines. 17 convicted. Trafficking ring completely dismantled. David opened support center missing children. Richard sold half assets fund project. Camila became director, finally using skills protect families instead secretly investigating. No learned, David said since inauguration, looking Camila Richard. Family isn't blood documents. Who fights everyone else gives up. James Hartwell, serving life sentence, lost everything, fortune, reputation, freedom. Last message Richard, never imagined courage this. Richard kept letter without replying. Some revenge needs no words, justice. Real victory not destroying James Hartwell. Rebuilding family time human evil tried erase forever. Sometimes best revenge simply not giving those love, even whole world says impossible. If story touched heart, subscribe channel everyone deserves second chance reunite there.